No doubt, Benzino here on the video shoot to Die Another Day. Electro recording artist, co-owner of Source Magazine, Eminem Slayer. This battle between me and Eminem is really a situation where the hood just ain't selling units no more. And there's a double standard on how certain media, is using hip-hop and Eminem as propaganda to, in my opinion, to make the hood not sell no more records.
The commercialization of it is good. It's created more, economic opportunity. It's created more jobs, more wealth. But now, we also have to take a look at where that wealth is going right now.
It's a double standard, meaning, we can't make the same. We gotta gear our songs towards partying and more lighter side of things. We can't speak our pain. We can't express our pain. We can't express our music without pain. I think they're letting Eminem be free to do the music that he wants to do, while at the same time we're not.
Came at you.
It's not a song.
A freestyle.
I hope to God he was freestyling, because if he wrote that, I really feel bad.
I mean, did something happen to spark that between you and him?
Angie, I swear on my daughter's life, I never met this dude. I never met this man, this girl. She is obsessed with me.
The Benzino thing, that's punk shit. And all that, he does all of that. Hollering, saying, oh, he's white, he's stealing black culture. Well, I'm black as a motherfucker. And I love Eminem.
I think Eminem sells records because he's talented. Because there's been many white rappers before him that didn't sell 8-9 million records. Because they didn't have the talent. Everybody's pinpointing him because he's better than everybody. So now motherfuckers is like, oh, it's because he's white. It's because he's white he's selling all these records. That's not true. Then you look at Dre. Dre sold 6 million records before. Snoop sold 7 million records before. Well, he wasn't white. He was black. This dude just happens to be talented.
He act like M was the only nigga that's selling. Melly's selling. Jigga selling, Nas selling. He thought he couldn't. Outkast selling.
He thought he was
a lot of niggas selling.
He thought he was
niggas eating right now. But you mad at Eminem because you ain't eating.
It felt like to me he was trying to start a fucking revolution. Like, yo, fuck the white people. The white boys selling records and we not selling records in the hood. Nigga, that's because your shit whack.
The average consumer is gonna go buy what they want to buy. If they like Benzino's album enough, and they like Eminem's album enough, they gonna buy both albums. If they got to choose between one of the two, if they feel like Eminem's is better, whether he's black or white, they're going to buy his. He's not taking food out of nobody's mouth. And me and him ain't on the best of terms right now, but I got to defend him in that right because he worked too fucking hard for somebody to just try and take that away from him. He been through too much just being white.
All he just missing is the black on his face. Because Eminem is black too. He's black and white. He know how to deal with, motherfuckers on here and over there. So, hey, man, I don't tell him shit. I wouldn't give a fuck. You let me get some white audience selling. I wouldn't give a fuck.
I ain't selling no units in the hood no more, man.
Fuck Benzino.
I ain't selling no more units in the hood.
Artists and fans rushing to Eminem's defense. Benzino and Dave May's anti-corporate message was lost. However true their complaints about the increasing corporate domination of hip-hop, they had singled out Eminem.
When you pick one person, how can a person not personalize it? If you just talking about me, you just talking about me.
He dissed me on a record.
Right.
I didn't respond. Then he dissed me again. He went back in the studio again. I think he was mad that I didn't respond. Not that it didn't hit my radar, because this dude owns half of the Source magazine.
2003 Vanilla Ice, how you playing it? If you ask me, you really ain't that nice. You overrated. You ran to your manager, ask him how to handle this. 5 shades darker, motherfucker, you be cannabis. So let me have the back, slap your moms if you smile. I'm serious. If you ain't gonna respect it, why should I?
The second time he did it, I said, you know what? I'm gonna let him have it.
You don't know me, you're my motherfucking mother, you motherfucking punk. Put me on your fucking cover just to sell your little sellout mag. I ain't mad, I feel bad. Here's an ad, here's a poster of Ray and his dad. You wanna talk about some shit that you don't know about? Yeah, let's talk about how you putting your own son out there to try to eat off him, cause you missed your boat. You're never gonna blow, bitch, you're just too old. No wonder you're sore now, Lord, you're bored now. I'm pushing 30, you're kicking 40s, door down. Bitch, this is war now, and you'll never beat me. All you do is cheat me out of quotables, but you know that you'll always see me on your TV. Cause you gotta stay up till 3 in the morning to see a video played once on BET.
So I gave it to him. 2 songs. 2 songs to his 2 songs.
Vanilla Ice, spill the beans and rice. I'm eating you alive inside. Jesus Christ, if you're that much of a gangster, put the mic down. You should be out killing motherfuckers right now. Kill a motherfucker dead. Kill him dead, bitch. Shoot him in the fucking head. Go ahead, bitch. Slap my mom. Slap the fuck out of her. She can't sue you. She wouldn't get a buck out of you. cause you're broke as fuck, you suck. You're a fucking joke. If you was really selling coke, well then what the fuck you stop for, dummy? If you slew some crack, you'd make a lot more money than you do from rap.
Don't blame me cause you suck. This dude, Angie, I think could very well, after hearing his last record, I truly believe, and I'm not even exaggerating, this dude could possibly be the worst rapper in the world. I never thought I would see the day where I met or heard the wackest rapper in the world, but he very well possibly could be the worst rapper in the world. The only reason that I responded to this clown in the first place is because the extortion is going on between him and Dave Mays. Nobody wanted to address it. Everybody in the business, you talk to any rapper in the business, we all know what's going on at the source.
On the Boston scene, Mays met Raymond Scott, a.k.a. Benzino, a.k.a. Ray Dog the Jackal, an MC in the then up-and-coming The Almighty RSO. They became friends and colleagues, with Mays even acting as the group's manager.
I started from nothing. I had $250 and a newsletter and an idea. And, I stayed with it, and I was, lucky enough, fortunate enough, right timing for it to work out.
In 1988, Mays published the first issue of The Source magazine. Within a few years, fans and artists began to consider it the Bible of hip-hop. And The Source's opinions both reflected what hip-hop was and projected what it would become.
It's kind of hard to delineate between where your journalism ends and where entertainment begins, because they've been so influential in their ability to determine different things. It's been an issue.
Notably, in 1994, Dave Mays, without consulting his editors, added a 3-page story on Benzino's Almighty RSO, prompting a large number of the editorial and writing staff to leave The Source, including editors-in-chief James Bernard and Jonathan Schechter.
The standards that apply at Time magazine do not apply to any of the hip-hop magazines. I even question, do we have separation of the editorial and the advertising?
Adding to the conflict of interest, Dave Mays also served as an executive producer on the Almighty RSO's album.
It's funny to me to hear anybody use the term conflict of interest in this industry, because this is an industry built on conflict of interest. It's hard to pinpoint one and chastise them for it when there's so much.
Reeling from the loss of staff, the magazine went through a management shift, where, in the absence of an editor-in-chief, different people tried to edit the magazine.
When I got the opportunity to go over there, the first thing I did was just talk to journalists that I knew who were older than me and say, should I do this? Is the taint or the perception of a taint around this place so drastic that I shouldn't mess with it?
After a stint as music editor, Selwyn Hines became the editor-in-chief in 1997. The issue of the first staff walkout had apparently been resolved.
Source's second career was the start of when Selwyn became editor-in-chief. Selwyn had separated editorial from business, and we brought the Source to major heights.
Selwyn Hines hired Elliot Wilson as music editor of The Source.
I grew up reading The Source. I looked at it as it was the Bible of hip-hop. I was like, I want to be part of that. I used to read The Source, and it had a column in it called the Dennis Files, and it had this guy, Reginald C. Dennis. He was the music editor, and he had a column in the back of the book with the reviews. He had like a ski hat on and glasses, and I was like, I want to be that guy. So I got to live out my career dream, which was to be Reggie Dennis and be the holder of the mics.
Arguably the most trusted and revered rating system in hip-hop, the mics of The Source came to hold a considerable influence in the culture.
The mics of The Source were always, a motherlode of controversy.
There's not one set way it's done. When I took over, I was told that you have to put together a mic committee, which is me and a bunch of editors. I get the new album, I have to make copies for everybody, and then we're supposed to have a meeting and hammer out what we all think, and out of that conversation, I come up with the rating, and pending the approval of Selwyn and Dave, it is what it is. And usually maybe one record per month they'd want to debate. They would think maybe this could get a little bit higher. So we'd have little, non-structured meetings or conversations, and sometimes I would give in, sometimes I would get my way. It was pretty much not a problem, even with Dave.
But things changed in 1998 with the review of Corrupt's double album, Corruption.
He has a song on the album called 5 Mics, which is the highest rating you can get in the Source magazine. So he had, and the hook was like 5 mics dedicated to the source. And then Dave all of a sudden comes in the office too, and he's nodding along to it. And I was like, yo, you heard this, Dave? Come to find out, like, Dave's boys have produced it. Dave wasn't going to say, you know what, you have to do this, you know. He would try to hide under the guise of journalism. You know, he had a vested interest, but he wouldn't, it was like wink, wink. He wouldn't say to you, it's my magazine, you got to do it that way. He tried to convince me that the thing deserved it. I wanted to give Corrupt 3 mics. Dave wanted me to give him 4. Issue comes out, and I see that the mics have been changed. So I'm livid, and then someone goes, oh, he didn't call you? I'm like, no, he didn't call me.
And I understand why Elliot took it the way that he did.
Fuck him. I don't want to work for him. Like, fuck him. And I'm very vindictive.
Despite the fact that the lack of separation between business and editorial had cost the source another editor, the source still wouldn't learn from its mistakes.
We had just closed our September issue. Puffy was on the cover of that issue. There were a lot of stories in there, including a story on the Made Men.
The day the printed copies arrived in the source's offices, Dave Mays' assistant stormed down the hallways, calling all the editors for a mandatory meeting the following day.
Dave tried to downplay it. He said, look, Ray has some concerns and there's some things he wants to talk about relating to the magazine and how he and his group were treated in the magazine. Not a big deal, very, very downplaying it. So I said, look, man, I was like, you're my boss. If you tell me that you won't be here for this meeting in the conference room, I'm going to do it. But I'm telling you right now, I think it's a bad idea. And if it goes the way I think it's going to go, I'm not going to like it.
Dave Mays, Benzino, Benzino's father, the Made Men, the Made Men's publicist, and almost the entire editorial staff of the source gathered in the conference room.
So there's a lot of people in this room, and there's copies of the new source on the table. So then Ray begins this incredible tirade about why their name is so small and everybody else's name is just so big. I'm beginning to have a logical conversation, but even then I'm like, why am I saying this? I actually learned how to do source covers from this guy right here, Dave Mays. It's one of the good things that I got from Dave. Dave showed me how to, make a cover sell, and you put the big popular people big, and the not so popular people smaller. It was a thing that got Raymond angrier and angrier and angrier and angrier, and that meeting went down so fast. Fuck you, Sal, fuck you this, you ain't real, you don't know hip hop, fuck you that. So I got up and I stopped and I looked at Dave and I said, I told you this was gonna happen. I told you this was gonna happen yesterday. I told you.
Selwyn Hines, who had presided over the source's largest growth in both revenue and pages, resigned from the source. The next month, Benzino's Made Men album received 4.5 mics, joining a short list that includes some of the greatest rap albums of all time. Interestingly, the writer who reviewed the album doesn't exist.
When the mics used to mean something, the 4 was like you were the shit. Now it's like the least you get. 3.5 now, this means you a piece of shit. 4.5 or 5 means you biggie, jigger, Nas or Benzino. See, I don't even think you realize you're playing with motherfuckers' lives.
The source, as we used to know it, was the Bible of hip-hop. Their word was gold. Now what's happened is, this dude is doing the mic rating system. He even said in his song.
To the source's credit, Benzino's subsequent release, The Benzino Project, wasn't given a mic rating, with the magazine's editors claiming they could not objectively rate it. But to critics, this was still not enough.
You can't be a rapper and own half of a magazine, because then what happens is, you call rappers that you like, call them and you want them to make a guest appearance on your album, and if they don't want to do it because you suck, then he's going to take you out that magazine.
Oh, so you ain't gonna be on my song? Oh, you get 2 mics. You get 2 mics, nigga. You get 2 mics.
Benzino's, a.k.a. Raymond Scott's name, only started to appear in that capacity in the magazine's masthead in 2002. In other words, Benzino became a co-founder 15 years after its start.
Although I think he probably brings a lot of good things to the source, there's always going to be someone that says they're biased because of this situation.
Would you want them to back down and step back from one? That's just like saying a rapper shouldn't own a clothing line or a rapper shouldn't own a television network if he could. I mean, that's him in his hustle.
Shit, if I owned the magazine, my ads would be in there every month too. Shit. It's like if they wasn't niggas, I had jokes about that. Like this nigga owned the magazine and can't get an ad in that bitch.
This nigga give himself quotable. Benzino or hip-hop quotable. Now you ghostwriter supposed to get the quote.
Glasses in your face so you can see me.
This nigga got elementary rhymes, dog.
And he can put 100 motherfucking ads in the Source magazine, and he sold 14,000 this first week. For this album, they said you get 3 issues of the Source magazine with it. That's $3.99. $3.99 3 times. If we do the math on that, that's about $12 minus 15 cents. I sell Craig. I know numbers good. For $4, you could only get 14,000 people to buy that shit. Horrible. No, it's not horrible. That's a tragedy for your album to sell 14,000. Somebody should bury your ass for that.
I mean, the Source magazine is doesn't have beef, but we're in a business and it's competitive. Business is competitive. Business is full of sharks out there. So this is you gotta be competitive basically if you want to succeed in business. So, but I don't consider it beef.
Have you had sex with anyone famous?
Commissario, Source magazine.
As Benzino and Dave Mays used the Source to champion their cause against Eminem, they practically begged for a new opponent in battle. XXL magazine.
Okay, can someone ever really challenge the Source? Because people have tried and people haven't really succeeded. And I was like, my strategy was going to be, I'm going right for them.
Hurling disses at Dave Mays, Benzino, the Source, and its staff. Elliott Wilson used his monthly editorials as a battling MC uses mixed tapes.
Every editorial, I was really like taking a lot of low blows. I was doing it creatively, satire-wise, but, you know, it was very personal. And, you know, I'm relentless.
In its February 2003 issue, the Source squared off against all its rivals. A free pull-out poster in the center of the magazine featured a cartoon Benzino ripping a cartoon Eminem's head and spinal cord out of his body. On the back of the poster was another cartoon.
Oh shit, that's me. They're breaking me in half.
Over the following months, the battling continued, and the tensions rose. XXL's March issue, featuring Eminem, Dr. Dre, and 50 Cent on the cover, gave Eminem and 50 Cent the opportunity to attack Benzino and Ja Rule. Also, the issue outsold the Source, making XXL the top-selling music magazine for the very first time.
Do any of you guys read the Source magazine anymore?
If you ever see me in the Source magazine, it's gonna be a picture. They're gonna draw funny pictures of me and shit. Cause I ain't never gonna be in that publication, ever.
In its August issue, XXL featured 50 Cent as guest editor.
And then we ran this illustration of Benzino, which involved his son. You know, in retrospect, it probably is a little much.
Just after the issue hit the streets, Benzino, using a fake name, paid Elliott Wilson a visit.
While he was walking towards the back, I already was headed towards the front to see what it was. So we go towards the corridor, like we meet face up, and I'm like, yo, Ray, what's up, blah, blah. And I like touch him in the arms, like, don't touch me, don't touch me. And somehow he wants to fuck me up, and she kill me, bud, or you fuck me up, but it's kind of a blur. Why are you fucking me, Elliott? Why am I doing this? Why am I being the bully, and I keep bringing it to Kim, keep bringing it to him, keep bringing it to Dave? Why are you like backing me into a corner, ultimately, where I gotta fucking do something? He's basically letting me know that in some ways he's justified in his mind because of what I did, and then doing the kid thing is too far. Which is, you know, some legitimate argument. Rappers are very sensitive when it comes to children and kids. And even though it's 50 Cent's idea, you know, I'm responsible for it. It's my magazine.
Yeah, we don't want any beef, but I think it was pathetic. In any other business, you would never have a competitor come up and get in your face.
I don't yet. Mr. Coke has never decked.
Yeah, I don't know that the chairman of Pepsi has rolled up, you know, to the chairman of Coke and called him out like that. So yes, it's hip hop. When I first started XXL, anybody I've ever worked with is always, you know, welcome to hip hop. Seems to be an excuse for everything, but I think that was a real low point.
Him coming up there he felt I was crossing the line because I was coming at him as an individual. It is what it is. I'm not going to apologize, but it does change the way I'm doing things now going forward. Because if I personally attack them, I'm giving them an excuse to do something extreme. And I'm not going to take that bait. I'm not going to do that. Because I'm not trying to out-thug them. I'm trying to outsell them.
You got a bunch of house niggas. D12. Shady Records, just a bunch of house niggas.
House niggas? It seems like you got a lot of house niggas in you, because he kind of like it. You know what I'm saying?
Partner's white. The partner's white.
You ain't shit with a bitch. Fucking old ass, ignorant, innocent, looking senior citizen. Built up slightly like Renaissance sensitive. Wait a minute, hold on. Is it me or do we look like a banana with braids and clothes on? Bitch-made man, now how you gonna connect with them short ass arms like a Tyrannosaurus Rex?
I got something for my ass every issue. Thank you, cause I keep running out of fucking tissue.
Fuck the sauce, I'm gonna cover a roast on.
Rosenberg, you fat fucking pig. I'm holding you responsible for what this bitch did. Magazine's over in less than 6 months. You the rap David Duke, the rap Hitler, the culture stealer. Niggas ain't with you. I'm the rap Huey, the rap Malcolm, the rap Martin. Don't worry, I'ma finish what we started. And everybody...
In November 2003, Dave Mays, Benzino, and The Source held a press conference.
Tonight? All right, thank you all for coming out. Sorry.
In their press release, Benzino and Mays announced they would be playing a tape of Eminem rapping racist
We can
lyrics.
say that what's on this tape, the tape that 3 white kids from Detroit walked into Dave's office, brought and said, listen, this is the real Eminem and we're tired of it.
It might seem unusual for a top-selling monthly magazine to deliver a message outside its pages, but less unusual when the target audience is not fans, but the national mainstream media.
We got to make this the same way that you guys have treated Mike Tyson. You guys are treating Kobe Bryant. You guys have treated R. Kelly, O.J. Simpson. We can hear the music now.
I'll get straight to the point. Black girls are bitches. That's why I'ma tell you, you better pull up your bridges. Cause all that cash is making your ass drag from the boyfriend you ganked. And that's pretty bad.
I can't think of a more, important and pivotal moment in our history and the Source's history, our personal histories than right here tonight.
Black girls and white girls just don't mix because black girls are dumb and white girls are good chicks. White girls are good. I like white girls.
Black women are bad, white women are good. I don't care if he's redeemed himself now. That's not the message. And if that's who he is, then he has to be held accountable for that. I want to see what he's going to say now. The ball's is in his court now.
In response to the press conference, Eminem claimed he had made the tape out of anger, stupidity, and frustration after breaking up with an African-American girlfriend. Although the scandalous nature of Eminem's lyrics have given Benzino and The Source a newfound support for their claims, perhaps the biggest revelation of the press conference was how bad Eminem was just 10 years ago, and how much he's improved since.
Girl, cause they got the raw hide.
Ha 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 ha. Check out this bizarre mixture.